With the Dark Knight's wedding quickly approaching, both heroes and villains alike are trying to get his attention. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop on into Batman Prelude to the Wedding Part 3, Batgirl vs. Riddler, and find out for ourselves. Alrighty then, so this comic wastes little time getting started. The Riddler has come to Bathurst and Burnside to challenge Batgirl to a battle of wits. Yes, it would seem that ever since the Joker attacked Riddler at the end of the previous issue, he has just had wedding on the brains, which is why all of his riddles in this issue are wedding themed. And hey, speaking of the Riddler, can we talk for a second here? Why does he look like he did in the War of Jokes and Riddles when that story took place in the past and he didn't look like that before? Did he somehow magically de-age, or was it decided that the open shirt Malcolm McDowell looking Edward Nygma was just the way to go in the future? I digress. As I said before, all the riddles here are wedding themed, and because of that, 4 people who are deeply tied to weddings, a florist, a DJ, a priest, and a ring bearer have all been kidnapped by the Riddler, put into dangerous Saw-style death traps, and it's up to Barbara to swoop on in and save them. In a nice writing twist, Tim Seeley realizes just how smart Batgirl is and how tech-savvy she is, so to make it harder on our hero, Riddler has gone out of his way to leave old analog tapes behind to make it so Batgirl can't so easily trace his whereabouts. The traps eventually grow more dangerous and more elaborate, as well as that Batgirl must contend with some of Nygma's hired help. There's 2 giant thugs, then there's 2 lady thugs. Because Riddler is an equal opportunity employer, didn't you know? Why, I even hear he offers dental and a 401k if you join his organization. Granted, to get all that you have to solve a riddle, so what else is new? Now, why exactly is Riddler doing all of this right now? Why did he single out Batgirl out of everyone else in the Bat family? Well, you're gonna love this. You see, with wedding bells in the air, old Nygma is getting a little soft. He's starting to think about life, where he's going, and if he could ever settle down with a partner. Granted, to do so, he would need to choose someone who was just as smart as he was. So, putting Barbara Gordon through this weird, elaborate set of death traps, this is basically just the Riddler's way of flirting. And oh man, if this is how he flirts, I would absolutely hate to see what his idea of consummation is. I shudder to think. Ink. Barbara shuts him down, obviously, as you might have guessed. Granted, she kinda does so without words. In fact, Batgirl speaks very little in this entire issue. I think we're supposed to believe that, you know, the wheels are turning in her head and she's trying to figure this stuff out. Silence ultimately proves to be golden because Nygma can't shut the hell up, and in doing so, he ends up accidentally overexposing his hand, revealing where the final victim is being held. With that, Batgirl is able to kick him off the roof, save the kid, and more or less save the day. Granted, the police weren't able to nab the Riddler. He took a nasty fall, but someone clearly dragged him away. That person, as we discover, turns out to be none other than Harley Quinn, who has a bone to pick with the Joker and figures that Nygma would be her best bet to find him as the comic ends. So that was Batgirl vs. Riddler issue number 1, everybody, and overall, even though I did enjoy it, this does kind of feel like the awkward middle child of this tie-in series. Riddler stories kind of live and die by the strength of the actual riddles themselves. This is really difficult because hearing a good riddle and reading a good riddle are 2 completely different things. A lot of what I enjoy about classic Riddler stories is the heroes really sitting down and trying to work out the solutions to these puzzles. That doesn't really happen here because they're trying to have more of a madcap action story. This means Batgirl pretty much more or less knows the answer to Nygma's questions before he's even done talking and is moving on to the next thing. It was cool the first time they did it, but they do it like 4 times in this story, so you get some depreciating returns. I will admit it's pretty creepy to turn Riddler into this lovesick stalker for Barbara, but A, I don't think we're going to be seeing that characterization anywhere else in the Batman books, and B, it doesn't really do much to grow the bigger story of the wedding or this underlying story of how the Joker even knew about the wedding. In fact, the biggest takeaway from this issue seems to be that Barbara is going to call Dick to be her wedding date. It's certainly nice, but did it need a whole issue devoted to itself? Probably not, which is why overall I'd give this one a 6 out of 10.
Hey there everyone, it's your old pal Cape Joel. Thank you so much for watching to the end of the video, and because you did, why not check out some of these other videos I have available from the channel. Then you can follow me on Twitter and Facebook at Cape Joel so you always know what I got coming out next. And hey, if you're in the market for some comic books of your very own, might I recommend using my book depository link down in the description. Not only will you get an amazing deal and not have to pay a cent for shipping, but everything you buy via my link goes to support me in the channel, which is always really nice. And with that, everyone. I will see you again next time with more great comic content that totally smacks. Bye-bye, everyone.